I think my brother-in-law's dead.
Okay, what's the address?
Give me just a second.
Man, you gotta tell me what's going on.
There's blood all over the house.
When Hanna decided to leave her abusive boyfriend, he resolved to do anything to regain custody of their daughter. One day, Hanna and 7 family members were found dead. 200 investigators were involved in the case. 2 left shoe prints led them to solve the mass murder mystery. On the morning of April 22, 2016, Bobby Manley went to visit her sister, Dana Roden. Bobby often visited her family, who lived nearby in 3 trailers in Pike County, Ohio. Inside one of the trailers, Bobby found the bloodied body of her brother-in-law, Christopher Roden. Next to him lay his dead cousin, Gary. Later, police discovered the bodies of 6 more Roden family members, including a 16-year-old. 3 children survived the mysterious massacre. The youngest, just 4 days old, was found sleeping beside his murdered mother. Solving the case proved challenging, even for the police. The mass murder of 8 people shocked the local community. Over 200 officers, including the FBI, were involved in the investigation. Despite the resources, the investigation progressed slowly. According to former Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine, the outlook was grim. There were no witnesses, fingerprints, or DNA samples of the attackers at the crime scene. Mike DeWine called the Roden family case the most important case in the state. One theory was that a drug cartel was involved because some family members grew marijuana on a large scale. However, by October 2016, investigators had ruled out this scenario. The Attorney General and County Sheriff publicly stated that at least 2 attackers were involved in the crime. Police found 2 different bloodied left shoe prints at the scene. Additionally, the killers must have known the Roden family well, as there were no signs of forced entry, and the family's dogs did not react to the intruders. Police determined that Hanna had a close relationship with Jake Wagner, the father of one of her daughters, Sophia. The infant, who was just 4 days old on the day of the crime, had a different father. The Wagners lived near the Rodens but suddenly moved to Kenai, Alaska in March 2017. Hanna and Jake Wagner met in 2010 at a local fair. She was 13 and he was 17. 2 years later, Hanna became pregnant and lived with the Wagner family for a while. Soon, Hanna ended the relationship. According to her family's friends, she made this decision because Jake was mentally and physically abusive. The Wagners tried to convince her to give custody of Sophia to Jake, but Hanna refused. Later, case files revealed that Jake Wagner stalked his ex-girlfriend, threatened to kill her and hide her body where no one would find it, and even attempted to strangle her. Hanna Roden wrote to the Wagners stating that if they wanted custody of Sophia, they would have to kill her. Investigators believe the Wagners decided to do just that. To secure custody of their granddaughter, Angela Wagner forged Sophia's mother's will, indicating that if Hanna Roden died, custody would pass to Jake. According to prosecutor Angela Canepa, the Wagners lived in isolation and spent most of their time together, making all decisions, including the one to kill the Rodens, through family votes. Each of them had a role to play, the prosecutor explained. On the day of the murder, Jake, his father, and his brother traveled in a truck George had bought the day before. The Rodens lived in trailers close to each other. Jake, George, and their father Billy drove to the trailers and shot everyone except the children. At that time, 2-year-old Sophia was with her grandmother Angela. After Hanna was killed, custody of the girl passed to Jake. In April 2018, the Wagners returned to Ohio. Police then installed a wiretap in their home and began surveillance. On November 13th, Billy, his wife Angela, and their sons George and Jake were arrested and charged with the murder of the Roden family, robbery, and conspiracy to commit murder. The same shoe prints found at the crime scene were a key lead in the investigation. Criminalist Suzanne Elliott matched the prints to soles of shoes sold at a local Walmart and found an identical pair. During the investigation, they also found a receipt for the purchase of the same shoes by one of the Wagners. Surveillance footage showed it was Angela. Additionally, shell casings found in the trailer indicated that more than one weapon was used in the murders. Investigators found bullet fragments and at least 3 pistols buried in the woods near the Wagners' home, where the family had practiced shooting. Police determined the Wagners had meticulously planned the crime. They bought ammunition and constructed a makeshift silencer to ensure neighbors wouldn't hear the shots. After the arrests, family members were placed in different state prisons. Initially, they all denied involvement in the murders. In April 2021, Jake Wagner unexpectedly reached a plea deal and confessed. He agreed to testify against his parents and brother in exchange for the death penalty being lifted for all family members. Jake admitted to shooting 5 of the 8 victims, including the mother of his child, while his father killed the others. "I decided I had no other choice but to kill Hanna," he testified. In April 2021, Jake Wagner agreed to serve 8 life sentences and an additional 100 years in prison, without the possibility of parole. In September of the same year, Angela Wagner pleaded guilty. She admitted to forging custody documents, helping to plan the murder, and agreed to serve 30 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Although Jake's brother George did not shoot anyone, in December 2022, the court also found him guilty and sentenced him to 8 life sentences and an additional 121 years in prison. The trial for the family's father, Billy Wagner, is scheduled for May 2024. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more true crime stories. See you next time.